Oh yeah, I'm just cutting shit together, I forgot. It's the miracle of editing. Played a lot of video games. And I've played them with a lot of different people. Friends, family members, neighbors. That's three. 3 fingers, guys. Just a lot of people. People from Asia, people from Europe, people from America, people from all over the world. A lot of people. People I don't even know. But the person I've played the most with is my brother, Steven. From Pokemon to Mario Kart to Smash Brothers to Halo to Smash again. And for just a few minutes, I'd like to recap those 19 years. Now back in the early days, I actually didn't have my own console, but my brother had Pokemon Crystal and a Game Boy Color. And when he was at work, not work, he wasn't at work when he was 5 years old. So occasionally when he was at school or with friends, I would get on there and play it. And I would always pick Totodile. I remember that specifically. I would always pick Totodile. I don't know why. I liked Totodile. Still do. Later on, when I actually learned how to play the game, I got my own Pokemon game, Pokemon Sapphire, and at the same time, he got Pokemon Fire Red. 2 games. We had 1 Game Boy. One Game Boy Advance SP. So we shared it between us pretty evenly. It was still fun. I remember having to play on the floor with it plugged up because he would drain the battery. It was fine though. I liked playing the game. That was enough for me. We never really did any multiplayer because A, we had 1 Game Boy, and B, Pokemon didn't have split screen, but that changed when we got the GameCube. When we first got the GameCube, we didn't actually have any multiplayer games on it. We had 2 games, Pokemon Coliseum and some Jimmy Neutron game that I can't remember the name of for the life of me. I'll put it over here in post. I can't remember. Later on though, we got a bunch more games that almost all had multiplayer on them. We got Sonic Riders, Mario Kart Double Dash, Pokemon XD, and a whole slew of Need for Speed games. And they all had multiplayer. We played multiplayer on them all. And when I wasn't playing, I was watching him play. I was watching him beat up people in Spider-Man 2 or be actually good at Need for Speed. I was never good at Need for Speed, but he was. So I watched, and I still do that to this day. Sometimes I'll be sitting on my computer and I'll just be watching him in the corner of my eye playing Destiny on the Xbox. And eventually there was even some competition to decide who even got to play on the GameCube in the first place. Usually it ended up being rock, paper, scissors, but I remember on a few occasions he challenged me to Yu-Gi-Oh!, which I always lost. He knew what he was doing. I also remember this one time in like 2005 or 6 where I would get up early and try to get on the game before he could. But the thing is, the GameCube, we had it hooked up to a really bad VCR that was very, very loud and awful. So it just woke him up anyways, made my dad mad. But, you know, happens. I still got to play Pokemon. It was fine. And then after the GameCube was out of here, we got the Wii. The Wii was, honest to God, just a straight up upgrade from the GameCube. Because not only could you play the new Wii games on it, you could also play the GameCube games on it, provided you still had your controllers from the GameCube. So those were still playable, but these new games, which were also super fun, were there too. 2 games that come to mind are Wii Sports, specifically the bowling, and Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Like I remember this one time, it was me, my brother, and my sister playing. We were playing Wii Bowling. Steven didn't have the wrist strap on, so when he swung the controller and it flew into the TV, almost, it missed the TV, but that would have been funnier. And needless to say, from that point forward, my dad made us wear the wrist strap all the time, but that kind of just wore off because nobody did it. But the game that we played the most was definitely Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This bombastic fucking game where you could pick any Nintendo character from the roster of like, I think it was 46 in Brawl, I don't know. It was a lot of characters. My brother and sister and I would play that basically every day for like the entire summer that we had it. And it didn't stop during the vacation. We played it on rainy days, school days, days where we all had no homework and had nothing to do, days where we did have homework but wanted to play Smash instead. What you might have noticed by now is that most of these memories are about Nintendo consoles. But that all changed when my brother bought a limited edition Halo Xbox and Halo Combat Evolved. And while that Xbox didn't see nearly as much playtime as the GameCube or the Wii, and even though we didn't have any other people who played it, and we only had 2 controllers, and I do have a lot of good memories of that. Like, I remember that for some Christmas, we got this projector that you could hook up to your Xbox, and you could play games on the wall. It was not very good, but and like I said, that Xbox didn't last very long in the household, but that's because we got an Xbox 360. With its good, convenient, and accessible multiplayer online through Xbox Live, and its huge roster of games, it definitely saw the most playtime out of any other console we ever owned. We had a good amount of good games for the Xbox 360. We had Call of Duty 4, Forza Motorsport, Call of Duty Black Ops. All those had multiplayer that I played with my brother on occasion. You know, not as much as the one that I'm about to bring up now. But the one that we played the most was definitely Halo 3 and Halo Reach. Halo 3 and Halo Reach have a special place in my heart that nothing else can replace. Steven and I spent countless hours on Halo 3 in matchmaking and custom games, a little bit of campaign, but mostly the multiplayer. Halo 3 custom games is probably the most cherished time of my childhood just because it was so fun. And there were countless options for different games to play. These are hard to memorize, so I'm just going to read off my little list that I made. There was Ghostbusters, there was Gladiators, there was Fat Kid, there was Trash Compactor. There was a lot, all right? There were a lot, and it bled perfectly into Halo Reach. Because Reach custom games are just Halo 3 custom games, but you could do more with them. Especially because of the map creator, Forge. Halo 3's Forge was clunky, it wasn't very good. Halo Reach's Forge, on the other hand, was its own thing. You can build maps from scratch, have your own game type for each map. You didn't have to start with the canvas like Foundry or Sandbox in Halo 3, because there was Forge World, which was just a huge empty canvas for you to build wherever on. It was just better in every single way. And as much as I loved that time, when it came to an end, it came to an end. Because it was about that time that my brother started to like split screen a little bit less. And over time, throughout 2013, we started to play less and less. He played with his friends, I played with my friends, and it was honestly kind of depressing. We didn't stop playing like altogether, but it was definitely a lot less. And it was definitely a low point for this topic. But in 2016, things started to change again. He got a GameCube, which we hadn't had in the house for God knows how long, and he got Super Smash Bros. Melee, which on occasion we'd get on Melee or we'd get on Mario Kart Double Dash and play a little bit. But it was never anything too big till we got this thing right over here, just a second, till we got the Nintendo Switch. The cool thing about the Nintendo Switch is you don't have to have it plugged into anything to make it go. I don't have the controllers because I'm a dumb shit who forgot them at home, but they'd usually be right here. Just imagine I'll put them on there. To be completely honest with you, the Nintendo Switch rivals the Xbox 360 for me. You can bring this thing anywhere. Like say you're in the back of a car on your way to see Into the Spider-Verse for the 4th time this week, and you're going with your friends, and you're bored on the ride there. You can pull out your Nintendo Switch, and you can play Mario Kart on the way there with your buddy Josh in the back. Or you can play alone and say, haha, I have a game to play and you don't, Josh. Fuck you. Now that example doesn't exactly apply to me, but here's one that does. It was one morning in session 2 of freshman year of college, and I remember specifically we had a plaster project that was due for our final. And one of my friend's plaster projects wasn't completely dry, which was one of the prerequisites for a good grade. I was in the other room on my Switch playing Mario Kart. So they walked into the lounge and they were like, hey, is that a Nintendo Switch? Cool. And I was like, yeah, it is cool. You want to play Mario Kart for a little while? And so we did. We played Mario Kart for a little while, and it was fun. And I've played this thing a ton with my brother. Games like Pokken Tournament, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and most recently, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And after that really long dry spell that lasted years, it was really nice to actually play games with my brother again. And it's honestly one of my favorite recent memories. But it seems like that was a bit of a last hurrah, because in about a month after I uploaded this video, my brother will be moved out to his own apartment with his girlfriend. And honestly, as sad as I am to see him go, it just makes me value that time a lot more. From him kicking my ass in Smash Bros. Brawl, to me kicking his in Smash Bros. Ultimate, everything after, before, and in between, it's been really fun. It's been genuinely great. And to finish this off, a statement to my brother. Keep working on your Bayonetta, because sooner or later, maybe you'll be kicking my ass in Smash. Have a good time with the new place. Love you, bro. The end. Go home.